Aloha from Kilipohe, Keikani Lohoa. April 2nd, and I thought I'd do a little garden update. Starting up here on the hill. This used to be Pineapple Hill, but we redid the whole scene up here. So this is an orange tree, and it's got some blossoms. It got moved. It got moved from over here and managed to survive that pretty well, I guess. The lime tree is okay. A little chlorosis in the leaves. No blossoms yet this year. I don't know. Lime's just not so great. I want to take this whole wall out of here and just make it all kind of flat. We did manage to get a couple pineapples out of this area this year, but the rats got at most of them. So I don't know what we're doing with these. We're just doing nothing. Lemon tree has got some fruit and some blossoms. That's all good. Happy with that. A couple of the pineapples that we moved are just coming in. That's pretty young, but you know, there's my hand for scale. It'll get pretty big. Cut back the kukui nut tree here a little bit so the anthuriums get a little bit better sun, and these gardenias that are at the base of this wall over here. But these are really pretty, these purple anthuriums. Not much else to report down here. This breadfruit tree, this ulu, it's kind of had some problems recently. I think it's real dry underneath it, so it's not getting a lot of water. I just watered it today. Trying to do that every other day. It's really dry. Everything is pretty crusty. There's Dusky Bear in the window. Hi, Dusky Bear. Tiare is doing good as always. What else? Coffee. I think the coffee plant, I posted a short on that. I think it bloomed like 4 times this year. But look at all the coffee berries. It's just bowing over. And these are new coffee berries. So almost looks like it's gonna bloom again. Just crazy. Just crazy. The interesting thing is I didn't get them picked last year, and they've been sprouting. So this is actually a little baby coffee tree. I have a dozen of them or more in pots over here. I'll show you those guys. So finally had to move the Hawaiian chili pepper and the poinsettia out from in front of the house. It was just getting too hot for them. But these are all the little coffee trees that I planted from over there. So I'm going to leave them here in the shade for a little while until they get pretty big. Down here on the Pineapple Hill, man, I mean, that one. Signs of damage. Rat damage. Probably ought to pick that today. Keep it from getting any further. Dang it. The big news is these Kahlo, the taro. I mean, she's been picking leaves like crazy for Lau Lau and for luau. But they're just totally over. So look at this poor pineapple plant is at the base of this thing. You can't even get any sun. So I don't know what's going to happen to all those pineapples. The these are all Okinawan sweet potatoes in grow bags like this one. This grow bag we picked it about a month ago, and we had probably 4 or 5 sweet potatoes in there. So I'm going to try and do a good dozen of these so we can pick one every couple of weeks. But yeah, look at that baby. That's a big pineapple. Don't want the rats getting at that one. These are all pretty big in here. Yeah, that one's big. So we're gonna have pineapple, even if the rats do eat some of it. Bananas, I think these are the same bananas from last month. And I don't know, they're getting closer. Yeah, that's showing a little bit of yellow there up at the top. So maybe a week or 2 more and we'll have bananas. It's so, those things take forever. Here in bed 1, the failures of beets down there in the bottom, and a bunch of sunflowers. This one's really pretty. It's one to pop open. But yeah, I really like sunflowers. Squash, we've been getting quite a little bit of zucchini out of the squash plants. Yeah, I gotta pin this guy up. I tried this year with, you know, tying them up to this pipe. And it works. It's been working pretty good. I think the key is you got to get it early. You got to do it while it's really small and not flopping over yet. But we're not getting, you know, tons and tons. But you know, the plants are pretty healthy. I think the good thing about it, doing it with this raised up off the ground a little bit, is the leaves don't stay on the ground all the time. And when you water it, it's easier not to have to spray the leaves. One leftover Brussels sprout. This is a Brussels sprout, and it's trying a Brussels sprout, but it's not doing anything. More squash. This is a different variety, but this shows, you know, those little straps going from the very beginning. Little tree nursery. These are all co-trees that we got out of the Longs parking lot, and we're not really sure what we're going to do with those yet, but here's this is kind of a light green variety of zucchini squash. It pretty much stays the same, but it's nice. Of course, the ahi dulce peppers, a million of those. This plant, there's 2 trees in here, and they take over. We pretty much just give them away. That's small, but these are reasonable size. Second round of cucumbers finally started to come in. Have had some pickle worm damage. That's a pickle worm. So I gotta spray more frequently with the anti-caterpillar stuff. Have to do that at night though, so it doesn't bother the bees. Leeks. Some of these leeks are pretty good size. I mean, not grocery store quality, but pretty good. We got some kai choy coming up over there, and some watermelon radish. This is a what kind of tomato is this? I think this is Komohana. This is a cherry tomato. but this was left over. I don't usually like to plant tomatoes out in the beds because one, they take up too much space, and two, they just rot generally, but that was left over. I don't really care. More cucumbers the next round, so when these guys die out, we'll have replacement cucumbers. The broccoli experiment, I don't know if I covered this last time around, but I got this white ground cover fabric, and it's supposed to keep the ground cooler, so the roots of the broccoli plant stay cooler. And I don't know, we might be getting some broccoli yet. This is there's two varieties that I planted, this variety and the other variety. I don't know what they're called, but the other variety was lighter green, and they all just bolted immediately. This one's not bolting, but it's not really flowering yet, so they're still pretty small, these plants. Peppers, these are all left over from last year. These are Trick You jalapenos. This is some volunteer. I don't even know what kind of pepper it is. Hopefully it's not Hawaiian chili pepper. It doesn't look like it. More peppers. These are new this year, these peppers. They're starting to fruit actually, so I should probably knock some of that back. Don't want too many of those. In here we have radishes. These are golden Hellos radish. You can see right there, it's kind of a different color. A bunch of green onions. Oh, this is a new raised bed. So I did this one, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago now. So it's got wood in the bottom, and then some mulch on top of that, and then the soil from the previous raised bed in here. And I mean, you can see, you know, there's some weeds in here, but compared to that bed over there, you look at all the weeds in that. I just don't want to weed that. So this one, at least I can do just barely hunched over. And, you know, mixing up the dirt like that really causes a lot of weeds to come up. So we've been, it's been hard to keep up with the weeds in there. But it's easier at least because it's up high. This is some corn. You're going to see, this is the second round of corn. You'll see the first round here in a minute. It's the pièce de résistance. Green beans. Got more green beans coming in. It's about time to plant another round, I think, because I'm not sure how much longer these are going to go. I was kind of hoping these onions would finish up here, but they haven't done anything. I don't know. Onions and me, it's just not really going so well with onions. Green onions go fine, but the bulbing onions, you know, I can't even show you one. Over here in the tomato factory, so I cut that piece of plastic off there. It was down about like this, and so I cut it off there to kind of give it some more airflow. We got both our hydroponic things going. This is so that's the second round for that bin, and this is the first round for this bin. So this is Anui Nui lettuce and Tegan lettuce, and we got a couple, I think 2 picks off of the base from the Tegan lettuce that we had in here before, and then of course the plants. So 3 picks off of that, and so we're hoping for that again. So these are all the tomatoes. Got different varieties here. This bin, so I'm using, this year I'm using these 27 gallon bins from Home Depot. I drilled holes in the bottom, and that's Kellogg's garden soil in the bottom, amended with 10-20-20 synthetic and some organic as well. And they look pretty big. I mean, the stems are really fat. They've all had a good amount of blossoms. The disease is still there, but not super bad. So I think overall, that's a good combination. Of course, I got the irrigation set up. And yeah, we're getting some fruit. April 2nd, fruit on the tomato vines. Lord knows how long I'm going to go. This is from UH N63. And just a few little bitty tomatoes. I think actually, yeah, there's some over here. And this one, I can't remember what this is. It might be another N63. This is my favorite Sweetheart tomatoes. That's what this plant over here is, over a year old, and it's still producing. And this is another Sweetheart. Here we got Haruki, which is from UH. I don't think there's any fruit on this one yet, but these are determinate. So this whole row is supposed to be determinate. I'm not really sure that's how it turned out, but that's how it's supposed to be. The only real disappointments here are these guys, which are Komohana. Oh, no, excuse me, Cavallo. And there is not a single flower on this whole plant. You know, all of these, and this is another Cavallo as well. Same deal. No flowers. And I had the same problem with it last year. I don't know what the deal is, why it doesn't want to flower or fruit. But, you know, you can see Haruki is doing just fine. All these guys are doing just fine. More bananas back here. That one coming. Oh, we got another flower coming out here. I didn't even notice that. One more row and we'll cut that off. These guys, yeah, they're a long way away from being ready to eat. So, cassava, doing well, except for the rats. You know, they come in here and cut the cassava off and just eat the stems. And they had been burrowing in and eating the roots too as well. So I don't know what to do about that. But we tried the cassava and she didn't really care for it. So more tomatoes over here. This is the ones that didn't bloom early enough to go into the greenhouse. But these are in this Vigoro potting mix. I don't think I put anything else in it. And they all kind of have this leaf curl thing. I wouldn't do that again. And really, I'm over the 5-gallon buckets. I'm going to move away from 5-gallon buckets and go on towards those 27-gallon. I could get 6 plants in here with that 27-gallon instead of the 5 that I have. So I'm going to go that way next year. We had something that looked like activity in the owl box, but we could never see what it was. It didn't work very well, so I had to go up there and pull a piece of string down. Okay, on to the big ones here. This is the last of it. The corn stalks. I'm sure I put these up last year, but or last month. But these things, they're all tasseling like crazy, and they all have these. I didn't know anything about these before. These are called tillers, I guess. And you know, it almost looks like silks and tassels in the same one, but good looking tassels, good looking pollen. Everybody's cranking it out. The bees are loving it. I like to come and shake the plants a little bit, trying to distribute the pollen, especially in the morning when it's not too windy, and then it'll fall straight down. But anyway, yeah, back up here a little bit. There we go. There's our corn for April. And if you're wondering, this string is just, you know, in case it gets real windy, to try to give them some support. Because they're just in, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches of soil on the bottom here. And we mulched up the bases of each plant, trying to give it some more support at the base. But yeah, it's looking good. I'm watering it every day because I'm worried about it not getting enough water. But overall, I'm very pleased with that. We'll see how it turns out in the end. We have had a little bit of rat damage here. They like coming and chewing off the silks, and some of you can see the tassels as well get kind of chewed off. There's one back in there. But the bees are all over it. I did do some clearing back here. We're going to plant a breadfruit tree in here, but got to finish pulling these stumps as soon as I get around to that. Pulled a couple stumps in here. But yeah, this is all lava and junk back in here, but there's going to be a spot right here for a breadfruit tree. That way it can grow up and not really take up too much of the view. This is a big ohia tree that I pushed over with the tractor. You got to be careful walking around back here because there are big holes. The vanilla, looking good. No sign of any flowers yet though, so we're good for that for a while. I think, you know, when I pull them trees down, it exposed it to a little bit of sun, so I'm hoping it's not too much for it. But okay, well, that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching. Aloha.